During those 3 years, when you get certified on all the safety courses and the curriculum courses that are required in order to become a journeyman iron worker, the best part is actually you get paid to go to school with that shit.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
We've got on the line, we have he's calling in from a 256 area code, Charles Conaser, a journeyman iron worker from the Ironworkers Local 477, a longtime sponsor of the program, the local union. Charles is calling in now. Charles, welcome to the program. Thanks for making the time.
Hey, Jacob, how's it going? Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I really appreciate you taking the time to call in. We have been talking here at the Valley Labor Report about trying to more regularly profile local unions in Alabama and across the South to just let people know about what unions are and what they're doing, and doing some of the more kind of basic educational stuff. I think that's really important. We want to make sure that we're doing that kind of thing. And so Charles, can you let folks know what the Ironworkers Union is? Like, what does it mean that you are the Ironworkers Union? What does that mean, and what kind of work do your members do?
Right, absolutely. Well, we're a labor trades union, formerly known as the International Association of Bridge, Structural, Ornamental, and Reinforcing Ironworkers. But to me, the Ironworkers Union is a skilled trade and also a career, if I may add. It also provides great retirement, hourly wages, health and welfare, and we also have a college accredited apprenticeship, so that's always a plus.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what kind of work do your members do?
Just to piggyback on what I just said, we do bridge work, structural, ornamental, and reinforcing work. So.
And what about you? I mentioned that you're a journeyman iron worker. What kind of projects are you working on these days?
Right now, I'm actually pushing a raising gang on the VTL project, doing an expansion to the shop floor power service shop right here in Most Shoals, Alabama. Very
cool, very cool. And you mentioned that the pay and benefits are a big plus of being a union journeyman iron worker as opposed to maybe an iron worker at a non-union contractor. Can you tell us specifically what is the compensation package for a journeyman iron worker in Local 477?
Yeah. Well, it varies depending on where you're working. But for me, I'm working on a TVA site, where the total package for a journeyman iron worker is, $54.77, which that includes all wages and benefits.
And additionally, in addition to the wages and benefits, you also have pretty good healthcare coverage. Can you talk to us about that?
Yes. So I'm actually trying to pull up a picture right now to see what that breakdown is, if you'd like to hear that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that would be really great.
So for me on a TVA site, right now the health and welfare is $6.22 an hour. That's going towards your package. And then you got pension annuity, which, the pension is $8 an hour. And then your annuity is $2.67 an hour.
And that pays for what amounts to 100% employer-provided healthcare coverage. Is that right? My understanding is that you don't have premiums or deductibles. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
I mean, that's pretty impressive. I have not worked for many companies where you don't have to pay a premium and you don't have a deductible. Most people don't have that kind of thing, and I think that that's really important to make sure that folks know about that. Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate. Another really important thing about, particularly the building and construction trades, right? I have been a member of a union basically my whole working career, but I've always had a desk job, right? I have never really been in that much kind of imminent danger. I've never been, one of those people on the Ironworker picture 100 stories up, right? But obviously for you, safety is a really, really important part of the job and is something that being a union iron worker provides really over and above what you would get if you were an iron worker on a non-union site. Can you talk about the importance of safety on a union job site?
Absolutely. The importance of safety on a job site, it should be emphasized, union or non-union, right? The number one cause of deaths on construction sites are falls. While every other contractor has certain safety rules and regulations, we're all taught in apprenticeship that, safety does come first. It's actually a requirement for every union iron worker to have OSHA 30, while I believe non-union, they're only required to have OSHA 10. We also have a program called Impact, which requires all union iron workers to pass a drug test before even being eligible to be sent out on a job. That goes without saying. Me personally, I feel like all the other brother iron workers and sisters feel the same way. But I would never ask any of them to do anything that I wasn't willing to do.
Right.
Ultimately everybody's there for the same reasons, and that's to make a living, to be able to provide for our family. So yeah, safety is very important.
And because of how seriously unions take safety, I mean, this has been pretty rigorously studied, and the evidence is very clear that union job sites where workers are unionized, the work is just significantly safer. I think it's something like 30% fewer fatalities. And in the coal mines, union coal miners are something like 80% less likely to die at work than non-union coal mines. And so that's, that really goes to show how seriously unions take safety and how they're able to kind of make sure that the company abides by these sorts of safety rules. And so, Charles, for you personally, can you talk to us about your journey to the Ironworkers Local 477?
Yeah, absolutely. I straight out of high school, I joined the United States Marine Corps Reserves. And after all my boot camp, NCT, and MOS school, I returned home. I needed to find a job for the civilian side of things, So what I did was I jumped straight into the labor's local, where I was able to work alongside pretty much all the other crafts. I spent about a year, probably a year and a half in labor's local, give or take, before ultimately deciding to join the Ironworkers Local. To me, it was a no-brainer to join the Ironworkers Local. Every time I worked around those guys, you could see the camaraderie, the brotherhood, the sisterhood. They all stuck together as one, and they had a sense of pride about themselves. So for me, that reminded me so much of the Marine Corps, and I knew it was something that I would want to be a part of.
Absolutely. Did you go through the full apprenticeship program when you went into the Ironworkers? And if so, can you tell us about that experience?
Yes, sir, I did. So you start out first year, you go to school 2 nights a week. When you get into your second, third year, it changes to 5 days, 10 hours a day, every other month. During those 3 years, when you get certified on all the safety courses and the curriculum courses that are required in order to become a journeyman iron worker. The best part is actually you get paid to go to school, essentially. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've been talking to some people in the workforce development sort of sphere, and having come from, knowing a lot of folks in the union building trades and stuff like that, I have always been used to the apprenticeship programs being an earn while you learn sort of thing. You don't have to pay to go do these apprenticeship programs. And I have recently learned that in some non-union apprenticeship programs, you do have to pay. And even in some non-union pre-apprenticeship programs, you have to pay to be able to go to these pre-apprenticeship programs. And so it's, in a lot of ways, these kind of non-union stuff is really scammy. And so not having to pay to do these apprenticeship programs is a really cool quality of the union apprenticeship program. So if somebody has been hearing you, Charles, and they say that they think that sounds good and they're interested in becoming a union iron worker, what do they need to do? Who do they need to call? That kind of thing.
Right. Okay. Well, you can report to the apprenticeship school, or you can go to local 477's main union hall, and just to kind of get ahead of the game. You can bring all your necessary documents. That'll include your birth certificate, high school diploma, or GED if you don't have a high school diploma. valid driver's license, DD 214 if a veteran, and all previous training certifications or certificates if you have any at all. Then you'll fill out your application. You'll wait for an interview, and then once you get an interview, you'll take a basic aptitude test, and then once selected for the apprenticeship, you must pass a drug screen in order to get into the apprenticeship. But after you pass the drug screen, you'll start the apprenticeship.
All right. Charles, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us this morning. I enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right. If you want to go to the Ironworkers Local 477 Union Hall, you can do that. It is in Sheffield, Alabama, 506 in Nashville Avenue, Sheffield, Alabama, 35660. The phone number, if you have questions, is 256-383-3334. You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.